story number 6, we're going to go to you, John Fakler. John, this is a piece coming out of a website based in Honolulu, Hawaii. You say, why the hell do I care about anything in Honolulu, Hawaii? Well, I think there's a good question being asked. So I'm going to read the headline. I'll read you the first couple graphs, Mr. Fakler. I want you to comment. The name of the publication is called Honolulu Civil Beat. So here's the headline, and it's an opinion piece. Headline: Is the condominium model of housing crumbling? Subhead: The corporate template used for governance does not allow for representative democratic government. First couple graphs of this piece, it was written by a woman called Lilia Mower. It says, I love living in condominiums, having been a condo dweller for more than 40 years, but I'm concerned the condominium model of housing is collapsing. Most government lawmakers and policymakers ignore problems with the current model and plow ahead, more interested in increasing the number of housing units rather than the communities created. While more housing will answer much of Hawaii's ills, much like probably South Florida and Florida in general, creation and governance under the current condominium model may encourage an exodus of those fleeing the growingly oppressive consequences of current condominium governance. Condominiums are a form of property ownership created by government statute, enabling development of higher density, lower per unit cost housing. Mr. Fakler, is the era of the condominium over? We've talked a lot about all of the shenanigans going on. We've talked about how many of these associations are basically broke. They don't have any money in reserves. The state of Florida is now requiring them to put money in reserves and actually do the upkeep, which they should have been doing a long time ago, as a result of the collapse of the Champlain Tower South in Surfside, Florida, that disaster where nearly 100 people died and there's $1 billion payout. Mr. Fakler, are condominiums dead?
Well, Peter, this op-ed is a cautionary tale, isn't it? It's essentially, it could be happening in Florida, but it's actually happening in Hawaii. The author points out that there's a shortage of housing in Hawaii, so it's a real issue. It's a real problem. She is forecasting that condo unit owners will be fleeing en masse because of this issue. There's a lack of clarity. We talked about this before. There's a lack of any kind of accountability. And, people have to hire lawyers if they want to find out any kind of information about the condos. She brings up the point that this is the way they were structured all along. And that's why condos as a housing model is doomed to fail. So when I say cautionary tale, it's for everywhere, not just in Hawaii, but also Florida. And again, both states are vacation spots. I don't know if that's got any issue, or if other states are also dealing with this issue, New York, et cetera. But it's a real problem going forward to see if these will last as a model, as a housing model.
No, Mr. Fakler, let me read the last graph of her commentary. Again, it appeared in the Honolulu Civil Beat. Last graph is, for one who loves condo living, reform is necessary to ensure that existing communities remain viable with enforceable laws that protect the physical and financial health and safety of members and their property. Right. Mr. Fakler, law enforcement down here in South Florida, I've had some situations. I had a situation there in the Great Recession. Some attorney went on the lam, hit the title insurance fund, owed me for like 15 G's and disappeared. So I called up the Broward County, I think it was Broward County sheriff, and I tried to report it in the economic crimes unit, which is probably where many of these condominiums would fall into. And they said my $15,000 that the guy basically took out of this trust fund and fled with, nothing they could do. It was too low of a dollar amount. I'm wondering, Mr. Fakler, does law enforcement have the time and the willingness to go ahead and chase down every single one of these allegations that are made? And if they don't, is that contributing maybe to kind of what we're experiencing right now, where some people are getting physical, some people are even trying to blow up neighbors' vehicles?
That's a great point, because the sheer volume makes it difficult for them to keep up with all the incidences. But I think there might be another issue at play, and that's the politics. This is real estate, is the business of South Florida. And you have to wonder how much initiative by government officials is being shown to take care of this problem. Ultimately, I think there's a lot of where they don't want to get involved. They just want to let the business play out. It's a business in their mind. So they're not really equating it with criminal activity. It's a civil issue, and they figured, okay, let it play out in the courts, let it play out with the lawyers, and that's kind of where we're getting back to the original point, is that the lawyers are really controlling the entire situation with these condo associations, because that's the way these condo documents were built, that they have to go through the lawyer to do anything, even if there's any kind of minor change. So, and people don't want to have to pay for the lawyers. So, yeah, I think there's the sheer volume of these incidents is overwhelming, especially for law enforcement, but also for the governments themselves.
Interesting. And Sean, you asked the question, what's the alternative for condominiums? Is there a different model that would actually work? Is there some alternative? Is it the way of the co-op, which was a predecessor to the condominium and basically was left behind in the 1960s when Florida put in place its condominium law? Or is there a different type of structure that maybe the state of Florida ought to be looking at, or residents ought to be looking at? Or do we basically got to try to perfect what we already have on the books and what's already in place?
Yeah, I think financial transparency would go a long way. In other words, I think every condo building's finances should be a public record. Anyone should be able to get access to the financial records of a condo building. That way buyers are fully aware of what they're buying into. And then people can certainly analyze one building and against others to see like how healthy they are. I mean, I think there would be a lot of sort of self-policing if all these financial documents were available. And as they stand now, they're not a public record at all. In fact, you and I, Peter, have had this discussion before where, wouldn't it be great if there was a service that you could just tap into to find out exactly, what the costs are and how they're managed and who's on the board and how much they spend and how much they have in reserves. But as it is now, I mean, I think if you're a buyer, like you have to actually sign a contract to be able to even see the condo docs, right? I mean,
all right. Well, John, the condominium documents anybody can look up based on my understanding and my experience. You simply go to the clerk of the court, wherever the condominium is located, and they'll record it with the county. Now, where the challenge becomes is maybe get your hands on the
financials,
the day-to-day rules, and especially the financials. Because keep in mind, if the financials get out on a condominium, that could either bolster the demand for people to be in there because it's like a class A stock or a grade A stock, or it can kill a building because the thing is just spiraling out of control. So I'm not sure if that's the reason why the information's not shared, or if it just has to do with the fact that maybe it was never an issue prior to this.
Well, when we look at the grand scheme of things, I think this is a great idea that we're talking about here. It makes the most sense. However, implementing it is going to be so difficult because of the lawyers, the changes to the original condo docs, all that stuff is standing in the way of any major changes, and that's a shame.